Hi friends, I'm glad you're back with me. This is Coach Steph Kelsey, and today I've titled this, I Will Never. Really, we're going to look at these overarching statements that we all tend to use from time to time, but sometimes they affect our life a little bit more than we realize. So we'll look at these overarching, strong statements sometimes that we live by. You know the drill. I'd love you to subscribe. I'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment and let me know what your thinking is. Let me know if you have other ideas or thoughts. Like, I would really love for you to do a YouTube video about this. And that gives me new ideas of who is actually here with me and what you want to hear, and I would love to know those things. So, okay, let's jump in to the good stuff. So, I will never, these overarching statements that are used, I want you to really examine them, because I think they're pretty much always just not true. That I will never something is just impossible for you to know if that's true or not, if that's going to happen forever. You could say, I don't really like to do, I prefer not to do this, I will never be late, isn't a good thing to say. You definitely will have things out of your control that you may be late. So I will never, I will always, these overarching things, and relationships are messy and they just don't always work out the way that you think that they're going to. So those hindering statements in your thoughts and your feelings can really lock you in to assuming things about yourself and assuming things about other people, instead of being curious and open-hearted towards others. That's why it's important for you to realize, because in relationships there's movement. In overarching statements, there isn't movement. So think of it that way, and maybe that will help you adjust that a little bit. So I want you to challenge long-standing beliefs. I remember a client saying to me, she was kind of struggling in a friendship, and she said, I don't think friendships should be hard. And I thought, oh wow, that's an interesting overarching thought. I don't think friendships should be hard. I don't think they should be work. So how do you unpack that when you have these overarching thoughts? I had a family member once tell me, a distant family member once tell me that all men are cheaters. You've got to really take care of them in the bed. You've got to really take care of them in letting them do their hobbies, whether in the garage or hunting or whatever. And it just made me really sad that that was her overarching belief. All men are cheaters, and we've got to dance around them in a way that makes their life, I don't know, so dreamlike that they are not going to cheat. That's not truth. All men are not cheaters. That is not truth. So that overarching, hindering statement that she is believing and holding on to is hindering her from opening herself up to men that have high integrity, that are honoring, that will have eyes only for one person. That is very possible. I've seen it. I've experienced it. So when you have sometimes these overarching, you actually are opening yourself up and leaving room for that very thing to happen. So this person also has had multiple relationships, and it has not stayed within the bounds of their commitment and their marriage. And it's sad to me, because you're creating or allowing the very thing you don't want. You're opening yourself up for that possibility to be okay, because you actually believe all men will do it anyways. So that's an example of an overarching belief. The one about friendship. Actually, friendship, like any relationship, does take work. It does take work to be healthy in your friendships and your relationships. It takes effort. It takes you thinking about the other person. The other person should be thinking about you. So again, a hindering statement. What happens if you own that statement that friendships should be easy, not hard? Well, you're going to bail as soon as one little hiccup comes up in that relationship. Well, that's not a safe relationship. Safe relationships, you can mess up and know that it's going to be okay. We're going to work through this because we're friends. We care deeper than each other's last mistake. So those are kind of some examples that might help you understand what an overarching statement can look like, and challenging those long-standing beliefs so you're not just leaving that to another one I've heard a lot from men is that women are just too emotional. Well, that's an overarching belief. That is not helpful, because the truth is all humans are emotional. And learning how to care for the human, the woman or women that are in your life, your daughters, your sisters, your mothers, your girlfriend, your wife, all the categories, that helps you to be much more attentive and loving and caring than just an overarching statement that just is not even true, that all women are too emotional. So consider those things and allow space for you to really think, do I have some overarching statements that I believe wholeheartedly this is true? And then examine that. See if that really is the case. Most likely it's not. And there's some adjustment that you can use in your heart and in your words when you're speaking. So I want you to be encouraged that you can change thought patterns. I had another client very recently that just told me, this is just the way I am. Yeah, I've always been this way. I'm just blunt. I'm to the point. That's what I do. That's who I am. People need to learn that about me. And, I thought, how's that working for you? Is that working well? So, well, no, because the reason he's talking to me is because he feels like his relationships are not working well. People think he's against them, and he's not. His heart isn't against them. Well, there's this overarching belief he has that it's okay to just be cutthroat and straightforward and give it to you like I'm just thinking. I'm just going to blurt it out to you. And this hasn't been helpful for him. So there's a place where you can start moving, okay, so I can be an integrous person. I can have high integrity. I can be an honoring person at the same time, where I'm not just throwing it out, but I'm actually thinking of the other person. So those are the things that I want you to think about. Those are the encouragement I want you to have, that you can change thought patterns. They can be very stuck in our ways, but if we will acknowledge them, if we will think through them, we do have the ability to start making little shifts and changes that bring a different dialogue to yourself and a different dialogue out of your mouth. And you win in those places. So be well, my friends. You're awesome. I know life is messy, but you don't have to be. You can show up healed and whole and caring and loving for others, and not just protecting yourself. So keep practicing all the things. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you soon.